Hello.
You join us on a ridiculously hot boat today.
Yeah, interesting enough, one of the questions, because we've obviously got viewers' questions, one of the questions is how hot does it get on a boat? And the answer is, in this weather, very hot. I should point out as well, just before anybody says, what a diva, I'm wearing sunglasses. It's not for the three reasons you might think. The first one being that I'm incognito. The second one being that it's a very poor Blues Brothers impression. Or the third one that I'm nursing a hangover. None of those reasons. I'm wearing sunglasses indoors because on Saturday I was standing at the duck hatch looking out at the lovely view and a big insect flew in, landed on my nose, and in my hissy fit to get it off I went and flicked my glasses into the river. So I've been wearing sunglasses morning, noon and night. Which is interesting because we've been out meeting some people and having a few sort of barbecues and it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm still sat there in sunglasses. So that's the reason why I'm wearing them indoors today.
The reason why he's wearing sunglasses is obviously because he hasn't got any other glasses that are prescription other than the sunglasses. Yeah,
these are prescription sunglasses. That's an important point. It's not because I can't see and I'll put sunglasses on and suddenly I can see. They're prescription sunglasses. So yeah. But still, you know,
it's been hilarious.
Adds to the persona, doesn't it? So this week we went from Cookham to Henley on Thames.
Yeah.
One of our favourite places on the Thames. Yeah. And along the way we saw some lovely subscribers. Who did we see?
We saw Colin and Mandy at Henley on Thames.
We did indeed.
We saw Bronwyn and Chris as well. They
were strolling along the towpath. Do you call it a towpath on a river? Yeah, strolling along the towpath, and they waved to us from the bank, and then when we got to the lock at Henley they came over and said hello, chatted to us. They were on a wide beam themselves, so they're wide beam moments.
Yeah, so it was lovely to see all of you guys. We'd also like to say a big hi to the two guys that were on the wide beam with the absolutely wonderful deck on their roof.
That's wonderful deck. Just to be clear.
They were going by as we were entering the lock near Henley on Thames and they said hi and they were subscribers, but unfortunately we couldn't catch your names because you were rushing by.
Yeah.
But we did very much admire your deck.
That's deck. Just to be clear. Yes.
So we had a great time at Henley. We met up with some other people, didn't we?
Yeah, ne'er-do-wells. Ne'er-do-wells, no hopers, chancers.
Yes.
Yeah. You might know them as foxes afloat.
Yeah.
They fleeced us, to be honest. Sean said, "Oh, could you get me some beer from the shops?" And we went off and got some fish and chips so we could have a drink with them on board. And I got the beer, and when I came back, he changed his name, his sex, and his religion just to avoid paying me. And when he pointed out that he was a Yorkshireman, I understood why. So they came on board, and we had a nice evening chatting to them, and just chilling.
Yeah, we didn't get any photos of them. Only the most important part of their team.
Yeah, the most important part of their team. Which I'm sure they'll introduce you to in the vlog.
Yeah.
So we will say no more.
So we are just about to leave Cookham. We've had an absolutely fantastic time here, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been here for 2 nights and today we're heading on through Bourne End, Marlow. It's 11 miles I think and 4 locks.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and land in Henley upon Thames.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the journey.
See you later.
Bye.
And even Pauline Quirk was over here having a party the other week. There's quite a few famous people on the river. And how about this for property? It's huge. Look at the boat. Everyone loves a thatched cottage. Beautiful. Scenery here though, isn't it?
Yes. The little house on the prairie.
It's quite pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at the hills and everything behind. Views behind the property and views in front of the property.
I think that's what you say, stuck in the middle with you.
Very good. Always good to have a pair of binoculars on the back of the boat. Don't know if you can see that tiny blue sign actually says channel this way around the bend, but you really can't see it at the back of the boat unless you've got some binoculars. So this is where we are practicing our hovering skills at the moment. We can't get onto the lock landing. The lock keeper has opened the gate or opened the sluices to let the water out, to let a boat down, and so obviously the water's pushing us slightly. So we're just hovering as much as we can, so it's good practice. And as soon as the lock landing's free, we will move on to it, and then we will go into the lock when it's our turn. So we just say hello to Steve, who's on the boat behind us on a holiday boat. One of our subscribers that's come and said hello, so hello to you. We'll just watch now for the lock keeper to give us the wave and let us know when all the boats are out, and then we'll head in. made such a difference, that turn. Yeah. That is quite ferocious, isn't it?
You can see how, when boats take two turns when they're going down, it's so easy for it to, for the friction to hold it, and all of a sudden it's here.
That's it.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you. Beautiful Bisham Abbey.
Oh god. Baby.
I was looking for a boat with a boarded window, you know, it looks a bit shabby.
Alright.
Yeah, you?
Long time no see.
It is, yeah, go over a year, isn't it? Seeing how the professionals do it.
Yeah.
Please cock it up.
You just wanted me to fall in.
Well, you know, that would be good.
How long are you staying?
Just one more night.
If we don't like it, we'll be back in an hour.
Yeah.
So, viewers' questions. Rob Owen and his other half sent us a video in. Unfortunately, we managed to play the video the first time, take notes on the questions, but it wouldn't play for the second time for some reason. We didn't, unfortunately, catch the your other half's name, Rob, because she didn't say, so hello to you and your other half. You asked about a 12-foot-6 by 60-foot wide beam boat. Is it easy to steer? And would we have gone for a 12-foot-6? And the answer to that question is, it's easy to steer depending on the canal you're on and the way you're steering it. I mean, we've never had a boat with a steering wheel, so I would suggest they're probably harder to steer or harder to master than a tiller. And also the canal that you're on, you can do it, but just bear in mind that you're 1.5 foot wider than us. So bridges are going to be tight. You've not really got an awful lot of room for error. That's the thing, you know, you need a bit of wiggle room sometimes to be able to get in and out of situations, and at 12'6" you haven't got a lot, so you've got to be pretty confident in your abilities to steer it.
I think everyone gets used to their own thing, so if you've started off in a 12'6" boat, you don't know any different, so you're going to get used to your boat and be able to manoeuvre it through the bridges just as we do on an 11-foot one.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, you know, we've only ever known an 11 foot, so 12'6" would scare the bejesus out of us. But it might not for you. You know, you might come from a background where, you know, boating is natural and you are quite comfortable with a 12'6" boat. Just remember, it can only go on wide beam canals, and the wide beam canals, like the Kennet and Avon, so you have every right to be on a wide beam canal and a 12'6" boat because the locks are built to take it, but it does in places get quite narrow.
I think some of the locks are 13.6 on the K&A.
Yeah, Sevington apparently, we were asked a question previously about that, and he went and measured the lock and it was 14'2". They've removed one of the linings of the brick to make it wider. What
happened on the K&A is you could always get a 13'6" through the Sevington lock. They did some repairs. Unfortunately, when they did the repairs, it kind of shrunk, didn't it?
Yeah, miraculously.
But they have now replaced that and they've widened it again. So Duncan Murray has asked, how do we know where we can travel with wide beam boats? Because obviously some canals are wide and some are narrow. And what we do is a bit of research beforehand. We have a look and see what canals we would like to go on to. And we look through the navigational guides, and there's quite a few out there on the market.
There's one for each canal network, isn't there, really? Or
one for each canal, one for each river or area. And we also look on the Canal and River Trust or the Environment Agency websites, which also list the dimensions of the locks and bridges. The other thing you need to think about as well is the bridge height.
Yes.
Because there are some navigations that we can go on, like we can go up to Lechlade.
Yeah.
But there is a bridge that is quite low at 7 foot.
Yeah.
With our solars, we might not get under. So you do have to do a little bit of research beforehand. We are going to be putting a map out there. So we're working on it at the moment. And it will be a map to show you where you can go in a wide beam boat. And you may know that previously, in a previous vlog, we have actually drawn out the map onto a chart and highlighted it for you.
That was, the vlog was called Why You Shouldn't Buy a Wide Beam and Why You Should. So if you want some instant sort of information as to where you can and can't travel, go to that video, because you'll see us in the map room and the pointy stick, which was a chopstick, showing you where you can and can't travel on a wide beam boat.
Yeah.
Now our final batch of questions comes from Daniel Howlett. He asked us 6 questions. Now unfortunately we're not able to answer all 6 today, otherwise it would just be a Q&A, but we are able to answer 2 or 3 of those. The first one that he asked us was, can you leave your boat for more than 14 days? And I assume he means on the cut, as in on the canal. No is the answer, because you have to move it every 14 days. I think if you're going to leave your boat for a longer period of 14 days, then you'd probably need to be in a marina where you can leave it indefinitely. You know, you just have to make sure that you're back on the 13th day to be able to move your boat. It's a fact of life. You just have to allocate that they have to move every 14 days.
If there's a special circumstance like you're unwell or there's a family emergency that you have to get to, you can phone the Canal and River Trust and ask for an overstay, and they will normally allow you to overstay.
Weather conditions as well is another reason. There was a particularly windy spell last year when we were on the Kennet and Avon, and it was 4 days of howling wind, and everybody knows that a canal boat, especially a wide beam, is basically a floating brick. So trying to get it manoeuvred in a strong wind is very difficult, and we asked the Canal and River Trust if we could stay an extra 2 or 3 days, and they were fine with it.
Yeah.
Contrary to what people say, the Canal and River Trust, from what our experience is if you don't tell them, then you get into trouble, basically, because you fall foul of their rules. But if you do tell them in advance that this is what's likely to happen, 99.9% of the time they are reasonable, and understanding.
Yeah.
So, from that point of view, you can't fault them.
Yeah.
So
in an emergency.
Yeah. And the other question was, how soundproof are these boats? And they're pretty good. To be honest, people outside on the towpath rarely hear when Julie's beating me up. And I do scream. I scream loudly, I squeal like a pig. But yeah, so while Julie's pummeling me with her fists, I never seem to get any help. No one comes rushing to my aid, so it must be pretty soundproofed.
Sound does travel on water.
Yeah.
So actually, if you're sat outside the front of your boat talking quite normally, don't be surprised if the boat behind you actually answers you, because the sound does travel on water.
I should just say that the boat behind doesn't speak. It's the people on the boat behind that would probably answer you. So, and the final one we're going to answer from Daniel is flexible or regular solar panels, which is best? We don't know, because we've only got regular, well, presume he means by regular as in rigid.
Yeah.
We don't know which is best because we've not experienced the others. We know that people like Foxes Afloat have got flexible panels and swear by them and think they're brilliant.
Yeah.
We've got the rigid ones because we wanted to tilt them to angle towards the sun, because obviously the sun does move. Yeah, that's the only thing I can tell you about them. They work, but whether they work better than, the flat ones or the stick-on ones, I couldn't tell you. Is the answer to that question.
No. So perhaps do a bit of research. The thing is, every boater swears by their own solar, so yeah. In winter, perhaps one thing to think about, in winter the sun is quite low.
Yeah.
So the reason why we've got rigid ones is because we can lift them up to get the angle from the sun.
Yeah.
How that works with flat ones, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up.
Also, if you could subscribe, that would be wonderful. Don't forget to click the bell icon, which will give you notifications of when we next release a video.
And if you have any comments, please put them in the box down below. We'd love to hear from you. We answer all of your questions, especially if you've got questions about life on the water, boating in general, anything you want to know. Then pop them in the box down below and we will endeavour to answer all of them. Some of them may be answered in a future vlog.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.